Budgeting is such an amazing thing. It is really good to be doing a budget because there are times or moments where you feel like you're defeated. However, because you budgeted, you're able to see the bigger picture. And that's what we're going to do here today. My name is Sandra, and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. We do all things budgeting here as it relates to mine and my husband's paychecks. And like I said, in this episode, we're going to see just how our budgeting worked wonders for us this time around. I am so happy and impressed with myself. So first, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched my previous video. I'll link it up here in the cards. But that video was, of course, saying about how I needed to work in a magic month, and I believe I made it work. And we're going to get into it. So, okay, let's go ahead and get into our budget. I do love using Post-its because they help me kind of sort out my mind. And if things start getting messy, I can just see what I need and then throw away the old Post-its. So I definitely had to go through some thought process here, but as long as I have something to enjoy while I do this, it's awesome. If you'd like to join me in this, please make sure you have yourself a cup of coffee, a drink of your choice, of your pleasure. Mine today is a Diet Dr. Pepper. Now, if I get the hiccups, just know that that is a side effect of every time I drink Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't know why, so hopefully I don't during this video. There are several things here that I want to go over with you guys, so I'm excited. Okay, hubby brought in, instead of the 1910 that I thought, he brought in a little extra. So that's awesome. I am super happy about that. So he brought in $19.59 and 37 cents. Amazing. As far as rollover, we did have $50.62 combined from everything. And I'll do my closeout soon. And this was what we had left over from everything. I'm talking about groceries, dining out, spending, gas, and overall bills, whatever bills we paid. Because remember, I don't share everything on YouTube because, of course, there is a sense of privacy here that we do have to still maintain. But everything that was left is that. And then $12.44 is also left over from our dining out account. Not dining out, but our spend when it comes to food. And I am so close to just calling this food. And it's going to be like, oh my God, that's a lot of money for food. But trust me, food is expensive. So I don't care. You can judge me all you want. And be like, oh my God, why are you spending so much? And I'll be like, you know what? Why aren't you spending enough? I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to be a hater. It's just, sometimes we have to regulate those comments that come in. So here are the bills. Here are the bills that we had. And everything is looking legit because all of these are auto pay. And some of you might be saying, oh, that's a lot of subscriptions. And I understand. For anybody who is really wanting to work on their debt, one of those things is to cut the things that you don't really need. This is for our family to keep our sanity. And to me, sanity is worth this. So for us, it works out. All right. So everything is auto pay. I haven't received any emails, neither has my husband, that anything is going to change. So I believe all of these will be true to what they need to be. If not, we can always adjust as we need to. But if there is a change, it's usually very small. I did pay all of these. My MasterCard, I did pay. Netflix already came out, and the rest of these will come out during the week. And these were the bills that we went ahead and we moved to the 24th when I get paid. After looking at this, our total was $208.66, and you'll see that here. Our total that we had all together, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm being very sporadic, but the total we had all together was $2,022.43. So excited for that because look, okay, we took out the bills. So bills done, because I am one of those, I do not pay myself first. I pay my responsibilities first. And that, I believe, is more important to keep us out from doing anything foolish. So that's good. That's done. So then we look at the next section, which is usually our savings and our sinking funds. So let me get into this a little bit because there's a lot to discuss. Yes, a lot to discuss. And let me take another sip because, like I said, it's a lot. Okay, so my husband brought in a little extra money. We had a little bit of money roll over, so that money was able to work with us. Now, I needed to buy some stuff for the house, and I used my Target card. I know my whole point is not to use it, but I figured, let me go ahead, let me do it, because I'm going to end up paying it back anyway. And that's something I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about using my Target card more in this sense for when I can pay it when we get our money. And that way I can try to ease in on it. I don't know. I have to average out how much we use Target for groceries, how much we use it for spending. And then that way I can kind of budget, okay, this is for Target, this is for Sam's, this is for Walmart. And then that way I can kind of see what it is. And maybe that'll help. I don't know. But anyway, I am getting distracted here. I did have the debt snowball of $6 from Experian, $30 from TJ Maxx, $42 from Hubby, and $30 that is for extra debt. So all of that together, plus the $40 that's going to be for Target, was going to be $148. But since I used the Target card before he got paid, I also need to add that $60 here for the payment. So I have a total of $208 that is going to go towards Target. Now, that's not going to go towards my goal of paying down Target. That is only going to go to cover what I used because I needed it. We were running low on money. We only had $50 in our bank account. I did not want to use that, and we needed some extra things around the house. And so I went ahead and I did it. I made the choice, but I knew I was going to be able to pay it back. So that's why I was like, okay, let's do it. So 208 is going to Target. Now I have moved this money into my high yield savings account so that way I don't touch it. It's already been done. I went ahead and I moved it yesterday because yesterday was my husband's birthday. Yes, my husband. I love him so much. And I have some good news too on that too. Okay. So yes, we were able to take care of that. And since this is all good, I was able to move on. Now, I also borrowed $20 from the yearly fees, but I'm paying it back. So I had to get out $45 in cash to pay back into the yearly fees. And I had not been doing that. I had been taking from the yearly fees and not putting it back. And I said, I need to get out of that habit. So I went ahead and I said, I'm going to get those $20 back that I borrowed. So I went ahead and I did. And so I put $45 into the yearly fees instead of just the $25 because, of course, and I did make a note here, I had to pay back what I borrowed. And I did also move $85 into our savings. I'm excited. That's 2 times now that we've been able to put $85. So our savings account is growing again, which is awesome because if something happens, we have that money now to pull from. Yes! Okay, I'm excited if you can't tell. Emergency cash, I did pull out $80. So I do have that in cash for those moments when we want to make something, a quick purchase, or the kids want something and we need to have cash on hand, whatnot. But Grandpa came to the rescue for the kids. Grandpa gave them a little bit of summer money. He gave each girl $20 and he said, here you go, have some fun. And so they have little spending money. So Grandpa came into the rescue for them. So they have their little money that they're holding on to. So we have this money here, emergency cash, just for whatever we need, if we need to pull. So hopefully I don't need to pull from anything else. But if we do, we have it here. Okay. So this totaled out a little differently. So I need to actually add that up. So let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I need to add these things up. Okay, so we have the 208 plus we have the 45 plus we have 85 plus 80. So our new total in this section then is $418. All right. And we haven't even done this, guys. We haven't even, I'm just super like sporadic because I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. So let's take our amount here. I'm sorry. Let me take a sip. Excitement is good when the numbers are working for you. Take away the 208 and 66 cents. So that meant that we had $18.13.77 left over. And now we take away the 418, and that means we had $13.95.77 left over. Okay, so now we take that $13.95 over here. I'm going to put it really small. Okay, we put it over here. And now we can take a look at our GDGS, because after we do our savings and sinking fund, so that's basically like paying ourselves, but paying our debts as well, in a sense. So we've already taken care of that. Now we take a look over here at our GDGS. I did decide to continue to have $4.50 for gas. I mean, for groceries. $4.50 for gas. Oh my God, where am I going? So I decided to continue with that. I decided to continue with $180 for dining out. That works for us. I believe that it's going to work because basically I don't go back to work yet. I go back to work after I get paid. So I'll have to make an adjustment there for meals when I'm at work. I don't take food to work. I tried to do sandwiches. I get bored of sandwiches. If funds get tight, I'll go back to sandwiches. But, oh, and use solo bread. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's low carb. I'm going to actually have to buy some. Because I do want to have a sandwich, but I just don't want to have it every day. But if I use bread, that's the bread I want to use. It's so good and it's low carb. Anyway, like I said, I'm of a squirrel mind right now because I'm so happy. Okay, now I do have to put $140 in for gas or fuel because my husband needs to fill up the truck. We have not filled up the truck since we took our vacation last month. And he's driving his truck more and it's really low on fuel. So he's going to go ahead and fill that up. So I had to increase to this because I know that when we fill up the truck, that is always a big number there. So I went ahead and I adjusted that to 140. Now, if we take a look here, I have to add all of this up. So we have 450 plus 180 plus 140. That's 770 already. Now, I'm going to let you all know I lowballed this number, and that's why I was able to make some adjustments here. I lowballed this number with my husband. Instead of saying that we had this much money available, I told him, I go, you can take $350 to the expo. And I was surprised with his reaction. His reaction was, are you sure? That was the first thing he said. I can see some growth in his mindset when it comes to the budget. And I was so happy. Like, he was like, are you sure? I go, well, yeah, but we can spend a little bit to get you your cake and whatnot. But $350 for sure. So you can take to the expo. And he was so happy. And he was just like, oh, that's great. I'm going to take my dad and this and that. And you girls, you all can come too, because he's going to get free tickets and the kids get to go in for free. And the tickets are coming from his cousin because his cousin is in sales or something like that when it comes to the fishing stuff. And so I was so happy with his reaction. And I'm happy that he's going to be able to take his dad. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing. So actually for the birthday fund, it is $388. And that's why I was able to make these little adjustments over here because of how he approached it. It made me happy. And when I came back to the budget, I was able to make these adjustments and feel good about them because it made him feel good about the amount that he had available. Oh my gosh, guys, you don't understand. You don't understand, or maybe you do. And if you do, leave some comments down below because this was a moment that I could not believe. And and then he even said too, he's like, well, if I don't spend it all, I'll give it back to you and you can put it towards something that needs to get taken care of. I was like, I think he's going to spend it all. I think that's already, to me, I think that's already thinking a little too much, but I was happy with that. I'm like, if he uses it all, he uses it all. But this is why we budget, guys. This is why we budget. A budget is not a punishment. A budget is a way of planning out your money so that way you can feel good about where it's going. And that's where I'm at. So here, then that means that we're going to be able to have some spending money, a little extra spending money of $237.77. That's what we have. So let's add all of that up. Let's see here. So we have $450 plus $180 plus $140 plus $237.77, and that equals to $1,007.77. Okay, and that's not leftover, that's total. So let me correct that. Okay, so we had $1395.77 left, and we had this for our GDGS. So that left him with $388 for his birthday. And we were able to have a cake. We got an ice cream cake because those are his favorite. And he was so happy. The girls were so happy. And he's looking forward to going to the expo. And he's looking forward to taking the whole family and taking his dad. What more could I ask for? He is happy, and I'm happy that he's happy, and we're going to all be there, and he's sharing it with us. I don't know anything about fishing. I'm like, I could be okay with just sitting, in a boat and just being there. I don't have to cast anything. I don't have to do anything. But it makes him happy. So I don't have anything else to share with you all on this except budgeting helps. It may not be perfect all the time, but as long as you do it and you stick to it and you have a plan or a goal, it's easier to get there than just saying, oh, well, I guess we'll just see what happens. I'm happy. And because I had a talk with him and I've let him know a lot of things, that's why his first initial reaction to this was, are you sure? For $350. And I went up because I was like, okay, well, we're going to get you a cake too. Yeah. Okay. Well, happy news here. Happy news here. And then, like I said, the next video I do will be a budget closeout for the previous paycheck. So I can share with you guys what we did, some of the things that got done. And that's it. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you all in the next one. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.